G'day profs, my name is Aaron and welcome back to Fibrehaptic, the exploration of fiberglass in the design of a tangible user interface. This study shall be split into two pillars. 1. Determining a valuable interaction modality for HCI, and 2. Exploring fiberglass as an interaction medium. Part 1. Over the last 30 years, advancements in screen technology have led the general public becoming ever increasingly captivated with visual output devices. Because of this, almost all our online experiences, personas, and navigational tools have become synonymous with our sense of sight. We have become prisoners of digital dynamic displays in our work and personal lives. Through the design and exploration of fiberglass, I plan to propose alternative interaction modalities for human-computer interaction, an attempt to push past captive conscious interaction models in favor of non-immersive technologies seeking to bring current subconscious interaction systems and principles of our digital space into physical embodiment. For the sake of this video, subconscious interaction shall be defined as underlying computational processes invisible to the interface. For example, in the digital landscape, subconscious interaction draws upon and capitalizes on the contextual form of written language, facilitating the formation of context-aware search engines. Thus, a system's ability to draw potential conclusions from ambiguity is central to the embodiment of subconscious interaction models. With this, I began to look into various potential physical qualities which could be measured by technology. Qualities such as computer vision, touch capacitance, and audio feedback. However, after exploration, I found these anchors unsuitable to address subconscious interaction. I began to retrace my steps and sought to understand the essence of interaction between actors in a system, inspired by renowned scientist Edward O. Wilson in his quote, "Nature holds the key to our aesthetic, intellectual, cognitive, and even spiritual satisfaction." I began to ask, what is the underlying interaction that defines all of creation and life? It is not in the way we perceive actors and agents, but in the way we perceive space. It is in proximity. This is potentially the underlying factor in which all living things engage one another, from the way a plant moves towards the sun, how predators stalk prey, and the way schools of fish inform one another in a complex system. Thus, it is the spatial study of actors and agents which perhaps holds the key to effective subconscious interaction. So why fiberglass? Fiberglass is by nature a composite material made of various forms of fiber mats bonded together with resin binder, typically forming an object or a shell of an object. The soft textile nature of woven fiberglass starks in contrast with the cured resin impregnated fiberglass, which is hard to touch and structurally capable. The textile form of fiberglass is able to interface well with craft weaving and dyeing techniques, while the hard cured forms allows for potential embedding of technology into the material itself, thus crossing the boundary of interface and object in tech-based products. Thus, these physical properties of fiberglass provide us with a unique opportunity of exploration and deviation from other objects of embodied interaction. And now, moving on to our user interviews.
Hello Fiberglass, how are you feeling today?
Just kidding. Welcome to the exploration segment. A total of 72 explorations were physicalized as of 26 September 2020, with a total of 6 potential directions of embedded technologies. The first exploration is an exploration of fiberglass in the process of electrospinning. Electrospinning is a cheap manufacturing method for the production of nanofibers, and is currently used in the production of filters and membranes in the medical industry. In this exploration, PLA was made to be spun directly on plain woven fiberglass, producing a relatively strong laminate of fiberglass and PLA due to its nanostructure and woven fiberglass porosity. From this, it is proposed that a test with conductive PLA must be conducted. This would potentially allow fiberglass to become spun-printed, a spun-printed conductive backbone, potentially embedding wiring systems within laminated objects, such as aeroplanes and cars. Using size exclusion techniques learned from silk screening, it is also theoretically possible to design a complex circuit based off negative non-permeable pre-fiberglass film, removing excess nanofibers and only allowing designed fibers to adhere onto the surface. More research in this direction is required, and any interest and collaboration is welcome. The second exploration is the micropolymerization of pyrrole onto fiberglass textile. Pyrrole polymerization is a resin curing process and has been used on textiles to create piezoelectric surfaces. However, I propose the use of pyrrole polymerization directly onto fiberglass. This would allow fiberglass, an inherently non-conductive material, to become conductive and piezoelectric. And through laminating a thin coating of binding resin, one would theoretically be able to form various piezoelectric surfaces and shapes for signal and electricity production. Pyrrolization of fiberglass is thus a potential facilitator of tomographic embedded technology, with its ability to act as a potential location marker on woven fiberglass surface. More research in this area is therefore required. The third exploration of fiberglass is in that of actuation through shape memory materials. Nitinol wire was woven into leno-weave fiberglass, and a current was passed through it, heating up the wire to its transition temperature. This caused the nitinol to bend back into its programmed state. Through the weaving of nitinol wire in fiberglass, it is theoretically possible to form large actuatable surfaces that change in response to environmental conditions. For example, temperature-sensitive canopies that would be able to adjust to wind direction and ambient air, potentially facilitating subconscious interaction without electrical intervention, or at least in the design of automatic environments. The fourth direction is the utilization of fiberglass as an interactive device for various temperature-sensitive elements. Through an exploration of magnet wire as a heating coil, an optimized coil was chosen for the embedment into fiberglass. Thermochromic yarn was then threaded and embroidered into plain weave fiberglass, creating a potential embroidered pixel. Because of fiberglass' inherent heat-insulating properties, it is possible to design an array of color-changing pixels into fiberglass and potentially into hard and light structures. A simple example would be color-changing architectural elements to subtly visually signify environmental changes. The fifth direction is the incorporation of conductive resins in the design and development of fiberglass objects. Through the incorporation of graphite in polyester resin, conductive fiberglass structures were produced that were able to conduct charges. More investigation in this direction should be conducted. And lastly, the visual opacity of undyed fiberglass allows for computer vision programmable surfaces. Through all these investigations, it is still too early to tell what is the best application in the embodiment of subconscious interaction. However, potential directions have been unearthed and have illuminated the potentialities of fiberglass, a non-conductive, non-magnetic, and non-microwave visible material in the realm of HCI.